So there's recently been a big talk about the difficulties in Helldivers and that there's a challenge being put forward towards the dev to do a Super Helldive on Omicron with a set loadout. I don't think Super Helldive is hard. I think it's fun. I get that it's difficult, I get that it's meant to be difficult, and I get that people think it's too difficult. I think that it's a fun level of difficulty, and frankly a bit absurd, and that's part of the fun for me. I like the idea of going onto an alien planet full of aliens with a spaceship where I can call in explosions and lasers and guns and weapons and robots and vehicles and just fighting enemies, sacrifice myself and then respawning again. That's what I like about Helldivers. That's the core reason of why I like playing the game. I don't necessarily think it's not frustrating. I don't think it's really easy. I don't excuse the fact that it's sometimes impossible to complete a mission because it's also difficult. But I play Helldivers because it's fun. I don't play Helldivers because I want to get to the highest level. I don't play Helldivers to try and improve myself necessarily. I play Helldivers because it's fun. And when it's not fun, I leave the game for the day and then I come back another day when it's more fun. I enjoy just being there, going with random people and trying to complete a goal together. So that's why I play Helldivers. If you play Helldivers for another reason, that's alright. Super Helldive is a really hard difficulty. I admit that. It's meant to be hard. It's meant to be difficult. It's past impossible. So you'd think that it's really, really difficult. And by getting the developers to play that difficulty is asking a baby to ride a bicycle. Well, okay, well not really. Asking a 5-year-old to ride a bicycle. Some 5-year-olds may ride a bicycle. Some 5-year-olds might have never even touched a bicycle. Shams Georgiani probably hasn't ridden a bicycle yet. Shams Georgiani has probably never played Helldivers yet. Or at least in a very limited time. Arrowhead has a playtesting team. The playtesting team playtests it and gives feedback, and that's what Arrowhead goes off of. And so I think that Arrowhead is trapped. Arrowhead is trapped between trying to satisfy the player base as a whole and by balancing everything to be completely equal. Speaking of balancing, actually I forgot to mention that. The balancing of the stratagems. There's no one stratagem that does it all. There really isn't. The orbital laser is great for 3 times, and then that's it. The eagles are great, but you have to wait 5 minutes for them to come back, and they're not as effective as the orbital lasers. Sure, a lot of them are very beneficial in a wide range of areas. I brought in smoke strikes and smoke grenades and silent weapons when I was doing the commander missions because they fit that type of mission. I brought EMS strikes when I started out with the Illuminate because it was just easier to slow everything down and then deal with it while I was learning. I brought the EMS strikes when I was on Cyberstan and when I was doing the missions to extract the palladium ingots. There's different use cases for all the stratagems. Sure, not a lot of people use some stratagems, but I don't think that means that they're bad. It just means that a lot of people aren't compatible with that type of playstyle. I still see people use the electric support weapons. I forgot what they're called. And I see people use the gas guard dogs and the electric guard dogs. It's just, with the electric stuff, there's a higher chance for friendly fire and for people to not like that and kick you out of the game. And I know that's not necessarily the person that's using its fault, but I know that it's a factor of physics and that it's something that's pretty unavoidable when dealing with electricity. But it's also just annoying. Much like a lot of things in this game, a lot of this controversy has come around things being annoying. The enemies are annoying on difficulty 10. The enemies are annoying on difficulty 9. The optimization was annoying when it wasn't working. The guns are annoying when they're unbalanced. The guns are annoying when they're nerfed. Everything is annoying until Arrowhead is deemed to fix it. And I don't think that Arrowhead can necessarily fix this. Because fixing this would mean disadvantaging or advantaging a specific playstyle, which Arrowhead isn't doing. If you play with electric weapons, everything electric is pretty balanced, along with everything for fire, everything for just shooting, everything for plasma. There's different categories of weapons and stratagems. Well, there isn't plasma stratagems yet. There's different categories of weapons and stratagems and armors that are all balanced equally, so you can kill the same thing in roughly the same amount of time. That's the balance. That's what Arrowhead is calling the balance. Not every single thing is balanced equally across the board because an Eagle 500 isn't an orbital laser, but it's meant to be used in a different scenario compared to that. The Coyote is a prime example of how stuff can get too balanced. The Coyote is great everywhere. along with the ultimatum, is mostly great everywhere. The ultimatum can kill big enemies in 1 or 2 hits, and the coyote can kill anything in like half a magazine, or just in 1 or 2 shots because of the fire. When I'm on automaton missions, I use the pacifier more often, because to me that makes sense in my head. There's electric robots, if I shoot them with an electric gun that stuns people, then it's going to stun them. I don't really use the pacifier anywhere else because I'd rather use the coyote to burn organic stuff, but the pacifier stuns the hard armor stuff. And I don't use other weapons very often that are meta unless I've deemed that they are, because I play a different way to everyone else. I use the warp pack constantly. I use impact grenades constantly. I use the spear gun constantly. I use a range of I use the P19 Redeemer, all the ultimatum, constantly, because that's how I found my playstyle to work the best for me. And I'm not saying that everyone should use that. That's just how I play. And if it matches for you, then that's great. I use light armor constantly because I hate walking around so slowly. I use guns that shoot very quickly and do damage so stuff can get away from me constantly. I don't like using plasma weapons because I have to charge them up and I have to reload them consistently, and they only do a little burst of explosions because that's just not how it matches with my playstyle. I don't use smoke strikes constantly because it's not how it matches with my playstyle. A lot of the stratagems I use have been inspired from my friends, actually, and how effective it is for them, because I look at how they play and see how they use it, and then I try it out, and it works great for me. And if it doesn't, then I don't use it. I don't build my loadout around metas, and I don't think anyone else should, because then that proposes an advantage over everything else, which there isn't. Everyone uses the same thing because everyone thinks that this is the best way, when it's not necessarily. The best way is to figure out the best way that you play with the best weapons that you have. And if you have a weapon that you like the look of and you really want to get, go and get a warbond to get it. And this has recently come out, this is post Video Max. There has been a lot of hate around the person that has proposed the mission for the developers. I condemn these actions by these individuals on Reddit, and it's absolutely appalling, the things that have been sent to them. And I in no way endorse that at all whatsoever. It's shameful and is not a representation on the Helldivers 2 community. And this video is in no way a shame to them at all. I feel sincerely apologetic towards that person, and I hope that they feel better, and that by taking a break from this game and by the Reddit community, that they can feel a bit better. Because there's a bright side to this community, even though a lot of it is really dark. The only thing I'm going to say about the challenge is that the loadout to me doesn't make any sense. Pairing a double-edged sickle with an armor that provides 90% electrical damage doesn't make much sense to me. But I understand where the challenge is coming from. It's meant to highlight how there's a disadvantage with some pairing of weapons and armors and stratagems. But I don't feel making that challenge would be the best way to highlight that. My ulterior proposal is to get the developers to play 10 games, but not being able to use the same 10 stratagems, or the same 10 weapons, or the same 10 armors, and then so the developers can get a wide range of how they like to play, can get a wide range of the player base, and then they can buff or they can nerf specific stratagems or weapons how they see fit based on how they play, with a wide variety, like how the player base does. But by setting the least used stratagems to be the ones that they should use the most isn't the best way to fix that, because there's a reason why those stratagems and weapons and armors are used the least. Thank you all very much for watching. If you all have comments, ideas, or your own opinions, feel free to share them in the comments. Again, I'm not telling you how to play Helldivers. This is just putting forth my opinion on the whole situation. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.